It is Sunday morning. We're getting ready to get packed up and go to the Maze District. Yesterday we had a great day, and I'll put a video up above about all that. We went to Goblin Valley State Park, we went to Wild Horse Trail, we did a trail that was right there. Phil got caught in the mud. It was a great adventure, a lot of fun. But today we start the Maze District. Last night, even though we're in this beautiful little canyon here, it rained and there was lightning and thunder, and we didn't sleep very good. So we're a little groggy this morning, getting things up and running. Katarina's fixing some awesome breakfast here. We got like some sausage egg croissants going on. Can't wait for a great breakfast. We got a fire started to warm up a little bit. We got the coffee ready. We're all good to go. So we're gonna get packed up and we're gonna go hit the Maze District. Now, if you're not familiar with it, it is one of the most isolated roads that you can go on. There's 5 different campsites, and it took us a long time to get these reservations. And we had to go through the process of talking to the film department and getting all that stuff taken care of so that we could film in there with permission. So we got all that squared away. And it is in the middle of nowhere. There's no services. There's nothing for over 200 miles of travel that you're going to do. So we've got a ton of gas, we've got a ton of water. I think we're well prepared. So stick with us while we hit the Maze District. We are starting our trek here. We are in Hanksville, Utah at the Hollow Mountain. Let me show you this place. This thing is so cool. You got these dinosaurs, but this store is built into this rock here. Awesome place. We're getting all the gas filled up. We have got so much extra gas. This is a long trip. It's 250 miles of off-road, and you're gonna suck through some gas. I mean, look how much the back end of the Jeep is sagging right now with the weight of all the gas. We've got 2 3-gallon Rotopacks. We have 2 5-gallon jerry cans. We've got a 6-gallon gas can, and Phil and Dana have Rotopacks and gas cans. I'm carrying a lot of the gas, they're carrying our water, so we should do just fine on this trip. But from this point on, we have to be very careful about gas mileage. We can't waste a drop on the way. So let's finish getting gassed up. Let's get on the trail and head over to Poison Springs Road. Well, when you're coming here, there is a very, very quick turn off of I-24. You barely see it coming. You make the turn and you'll see the sign here. We are on Poison Springs Canyon Road. Where we're going is Sunset Pass. This is where our first campsite is, and then Flint Trail is going to be the main road with all the offshoots to the different campsites. So for us today, our goal is Sunset Pass, 35 miles up the road. As we said, we're doing more than Poison Springs Road on this trip. We're doing the entire Maze District. That's going to be 245.2 miles. We'll talk about how we get there later. But it's a long distance between gas stations. So we got to maximize our fuel mileage as much as possible. That means not airing down a whole lot like we're used to doing. And it also means running in 2-wheel drive whenever possible and only using 4-wheel drive when absolutely necessary. Oh, I am digging this. Down in this canyon here, we're kind of driving along the wash, but this is really pretty. We are back at it with more water. And this stuff is a gooey clay underneath. So any speed going through here is just flinging mud all over the Jeep. So we're trying to keep it slow because we don't want the trailer covered, because then it's a mess to get to stuff later on. But yeah, this stuff is just flying everywhere. And more water. This one looks like it might be a little deep, but no problem.
Chipmunk crossed it.
Yep. Well, aren't you glad you washed all the mud off yesterday?
So glad.
We have been in and out of the water so many times. We've probably been actually driving with wheels in the water for about 2 miles. And now, I mean, the Jeep is filthy. It's completely covered in mud. There's nothing we can do about it. But, you know, oh well, you know, with the rain from yesterday and last night, there's just some extra water in here today. And it's making for some slower going just to try and keep from getting totally gummed up with mud. Yeah, pretty cool right here. Again, we're following trails off-road, and right here, waypoint 9, we've got some cool petroglyphs. Kind of neat. Now there's more around here that we can see, but I don't want to give away everything. So if you want to come out and check this out for yourself, pretty cool. Look at this. The two people. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we may have picked up a little bit of mud already today, and we're only a couple miles into the trail. Now, you'll be told that there's times of the year where this is impassable. And if you look at the side, this is how high the water can get, which would put the Jeep pretty much entirely underwater with the hood underneath the water. Even though we're on a 3.5-inch lift and 38-inch tires, it would by far be totally impassable going through here, as this can get I would say in sections anywhere from 4 to 5 feet deep. So we do have water. There's springs in the area that are feeding this. So there's water here most of the time, but in heavy rains, yeah, you do not want to be down here. Now, due to the fact that this section can get very, very deep, and there's a major river crossing ahead, before you start Poison Springs Road, call the Hans Flat Ranger Station and get current trail conditions. It's vitally important that you know that you can get through the trail in one piece. We're 9 miles in right now. We're doing good, and the views here are amazing. The deep canyons that you're in, and now look at this in front of us. Absolutely gorgeous. So cool. And I'll tell you, if you like water crossings, you're gonna love this trail, because you spend miles upon miles upon miles in the creek. So, and now we're constantly having to look and like, okay, where's the road? Oh, it's across. Gotta go across the water. Then you're in the water. You spend a lot of time in the water on this trail. Poison Springs just gets better and better. From the deep canyons to open meadows to this amazing view in here. This kind of reminds me of like Hey Joe Canyon when you're inside of it and you see these big cliffs all the way around you. Just absolutely stunning. Now up ahead here is an intersection. To the left, you head over to Black Jump, which is an awesome slot canyon to go do. We didn't budget time for that today, so we're gonna skip that and continue to the right to stay on Poison Spring. But as cool as this area is, there is no doubt that we will be back here someday. Yeah, this is a steep descent here, so I'm dropping it into 4 low, and I'm gonna run like manual 2 so I can use some engine braking as we go down this really, really steep descent here. Because if I used brake, I'm definitely gonna overheat my brakes with the added weight of the trailer. Now, how much weight are we at right now? Which is a very good question. But loaded up with the Jeep and the trailer and everything on it, we are about 9,200 pounds. So we are running pretty heavy right now. Now here we're coming up on the Dirty Devil River. You have to be very careful here because the water flow can be pretty crazy, which is why you want to call the Hans Flat Ranger Station first. We have 3 things we have to deal with here. We have to deal with the deepness of the river, we have to deal with the quicksand on the edges, and how steep it is coming out of the water. So we're gonna send Phil across first to get a gauge for it to see if we can make this across with our trailer. So after we saw Phil go down into the river and back out, we decided it was too steep for us to go in the river there. Fortunately, it did look like there was a way around it. We had to do just this tiny little detour and then drive through the river a little bit, make a big turn, and we should be able to pull right out of the river. So we're gonna take a little scenic journey here through the river and see if we can make it through and get ourselves out. With the river behind us and the ridge in front of us, we can't wait for some more breathtaking scenery. We've got ourselves a giant sinkhole here. Just let me give you a little perspective there. You can see how big this thing is compared to a Jeep. Yeah, we'll get Philip to walk up to it for perspective.
6 feet tall.
And it's probably 12 to 20 feet deep at this point. So we don't recommend you, trying to wheel over it, is what we're saying. All right, now we're about 25 miles in. So we got 10 miles left to go, and things are getting a little trickier. There's some deeper washes and washouts here, and this is one of the worst ones that we've come across. And this is not only a problem for a long wheelbase vehicle, but when you're towing a trailer, things can get pretty dicey very quickly, and hopefully we're not going to do any damage as we roll down this hill. One thing about going on old trails is you never know what you're going to come across. Here, you might think that this is an old car, but it's not. It was actually converted into a trailer and towed out here for some reason at some point in time. You can actually see that on the front of the vehicle. There's actually a tongue and a hitch welded onto this car frame. Why anybody would do this is anybody's guess. And of course, no good junk pile is complete without a refrigerator. As you notice that saddle in the ridge in front of us, we have to get to the other side of that. And to get there, we've got some serious climbing ahead of us. It is the end of day one, and we have just finished Poison Spring, which puts us here at Sunset Camp. It's a beautiful spot. I mean, look at this view behind me over here. absolutely awesome. I'm gonna turn around, boom, look at that. Some amazing views here at Sunset Camp. We're getting set up. We got the tribe trailer all outfitted, ready to go. Got the Alpha 2 tent set up. So we got that going. Phil and Dana are over there. They got their shift pod 2 or 3 put together. So we're getting camp set up. Then we're gonna have some dinner. And then tomorrow we wake up and we head to the Dollhouse. That should be a lot of fun. But I gotta say, Poison Spring, epic. It's absolutely epic. If you can figure out how to just do Poison Spring as a trail someday, do it. It's absolutely phenomenal. There's elements of Elephant Hill, Lockhart Basin, just almost any good trail. Just all of Moab and everything else. It's just amazing. The views are staggering. Let's talk about gas. That last stretch, we had some huge climbs that we had to do. That dropped our average gas mileage down to 8.7 miles per gallon. Now, as long as we maintain 7 or better through the entire trip, we're gonna have enough gas. So we should be good. I've taken the gas from the Rotopacks, the 6 gallons there, put it in the Jeep. We're topped off, we're fully full there, and I still have 16 gallons of gas left to go. So we should be in really, really good shape at this point. But you never know, things can happen. But we're hoping for the best. Now, let's finish setting up and have some grub. Well, it is now Monday morning. Had a nice breakfast. We're all packed up and we are ready to leave Sunset Camp. What an amazing place this was. Absolutely awesome. But now we're heading to the Dollhouse. This is going to be probably the most difficult section of the whole maze area that we're doing this week, and a little challenging with the trailer, but I think everything is going to work out okay. We watched a few videos of people taking other trailers in there, so I think we're in good shape to go, especially with the tribe trailer Overland base camp. It can go almost anywhere. So we're gonna have a good time. We're ready to go. Let's go hit the trail. Well, once we left Sunset Camp, we have 10 miles to go to get to Flint Trail. Now, Flint Trail is going to be the main road that we use to get to the Dollhouse, Panorama Point, and Maze Overlook. They're all off of Flint Trail. And then when we're done, we take Flint Trail up to Green River and get gas and head home. So we say goodbye to the camp and we head towards Flint Trail. And as we're coming up on the end of Poison Springs and heading up towards Flint Trail, you'll see these huge signs that say no OHVs beyond this point. So OHVs are allowed on Poison Springs, but not on Flint Trail and not on any of the roads to the campsites. Well, we just came out of Poison Springs, which is over here. This road that we're on here is Flint Road, I think. Yeah, and then the road in front of us there is how we get to Dollhouse. So that's where we're up next, 20 miles down this trail, and we'll be at Dollhouse. Can't wait, because this is supposed to be the hardest part of the maze. Let's go check it out.
first few miles of the trail are this kind of deep, sandy surface. This is actually a real joy to drive on. It makes things go really quick. However, according to Trails Off-Road, things are only going to get rougher from here.
Keep going straight and go. Okay. And now it will be 2 steps. 1, 2. Now turn it.
Okay, this is called a couple small ledges here, and we're going to work our way down. Coming down here on the ground, I can feel that. Okay, that was kind of steep. We'll get the trailer down, and then we'll move on to the next set of ledges here. We're now entering a section called Teapot Rock. There's a campsite here, but more importantly, Trails Off-Road says we're entering the most difficult section of the trail. And considering we've already hit the first few obstacles, it looks like we're in for some challenges. Tricky shelves here. I mean, they wouldn't be tricky by ourselves. It's just with the trailer that definitely adds a different dimension to it. You know, it makes us longer. I got to worry about not only the angle of the Jeep, but I got to keep an eye on the angle of the trailer. So far, things have been a little more difficult than we had anticipated, and there's no doubt this is why the Park Service does not recommend you bring trailers through here. Now, we did catch one video of someone pulling a trailer through Dollhouse, and they made it through according to the video, but there is one really tricky turn up ahead that has us a bit concerned. So hopefully we can get through it without too much trouble, but that one is at the top of my mind right now. Got to inch it around, back and forth. Yeah. Now this is that turn that I mentioned a while back. Now, if we didn't have the trailer, this would be no big deal making this turn, but we just are too long. I have been working this back and forth for a few minutes already, and I'm still not out of it. I'm gonna have to try and climb up at a really bad off-camber angle. It's really difficult to turn the steering wheel at that point, and see if I can pull this thing up on to the rest of the trail. But this one did prove to be a little difficult. You may be wondering why I'm struggling on this. Just give it some gas and drive up it. Well, I have no traction. The steering wheel doesn't want to move properly, and I'm just spinning tires because I got a lot of weight on the vehicle and the trailer is at an angle. Once I got it lined up and got going, we were able to get out of it. Well, Phil's just going to show us how it's done without a trailer. He should be able to make this without even doing a 3-point turn. He might get a little high on the driver's side coming out, but he's not going to have any problems at all just making this all in one shot.
Driver, keep that line. Passenger, straight on me. Passenger, keep going straight. You're good. Just keep that line.
Since the Maze District is rather popular and all the trails are out and back, don't be surprised if you see some people coming back out from the campsites that you're heading into. So keep your eyes open and make sure you have a safe spot to pull off if you see people coming.
So we drove coming. Passenger, just passenger. More passenger. You're going over the road. Okay, now keep just straight.
As I mentioned, we had watched a lot of videos to prepare for this trip, and especially the one where someone brought a trailer, and he only showed that one turn as being the only difficult obstacle on the trail. And it's turning out it's not the worst obstacle. We've had this really big decline right here. We've got some ledges that we've been over. That was really nothing compared to some of the things that we've seen on this trail. And now we have a big, like 3-foot ledge here that we have to contend with. And I'm kind of certain I might do some scraping on the trailer as we go over it. As you can see, as the back end comes up, it actually pulls the hitch up out of the way and out of the danger zone. However, as we go down the next ledge, you might even see a puff of dust come out. That's where the hitch hit the ground and we actually sheared all of the electrical wires going to the trailer. Where am I going? as you may have noticed, some of the trail is right smack on the edge of some cliffs. So, for anyone who doesn't like shelf roads, fair warning, because there are some here on the Dollhouse. These obstacles have been coming at us non-stop. Fortunately, there's a great place to stop, take a break, catch your breath, take in some beautiful scenery. But we got a long ways to go. Can't spend too much time before we have to get back on the trail.
Okay, you're down. Keep that in mind. Don't turn yet. Okay, passenger. Okay, you're down.
Yeah, baby!
Well, to say this spot was not designed for a trailer is an understatement. You have to come in, get through these rocks right here, and maneuver your way through, and there just isn't enough room for the trailer, and you can see one of the wheels got up on one of the rocks. But we made it, and we're still working our way through the trail.
That has definitely been a whole lot of challenges getting through the Dollhouse here. The Tribe trailer's been doing great, the Jeep's been running great, and we've just been having a great time, and everyone we've seen has been really cool and friendly, and all thought we were absolutely insane for taking a trailer through here. So, so far so good, and I think the worst of it is now just about over, and the last handful of miles to the Dollhouse is supposed to be pretty smooth.
Towing a trailer off-road can be a challenge. If you're not used to towing anything, you really have to be careful about your angles. Now, as you can see here, as the front of the Jeep comes up, that hitch drops down. If the back of the Jeep goes up, the tongue goes up, and you've got lots of clearance, but now you've lost departure angle on the back. Now here, we're gonna see this in real close action here, because as we come down on the end of this cliff and the Jeep straightens out, you'll see just how close that tongue can come to the road. And as I mentioned before, we actually have sheared all of the electrical wires to the trailer at this point because of a situation exactly like this. These obstacles have certainly come at us hard and fast, almost from the beginning of this trail. It has been a wild, wild ride. Now, at least for the time being, according to Trails Off-Road, things are smooth, we got a nice sandy surface to drive on, and we're making up some lost time, and hopefully the worst is behind us. But I don't want to jinx it too soon. Once you enter this Red Rocks area, things are quite a bit different. There's some interesting places to stop, take a little rest, or go for a hike, with names like Chocolate Drop, Lizard Rock, The Plug, Standing Rock, and Chimney Rock. And some of those have campgrounds, some of them don't, but look it up if you're looking for an alternate place to stay. But right now, we are just enjoying this scenery and just loving every minute of it. And we have the Dollhouse inside up ahead, so hopefully we're going to be there fairly soon. Now this drop off here is pretty steep, so what I'm going to do is have her go right down the center so that it leaves room for the hitch to drop down into this V-notch, and I think everything's going to be okay. Well, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and I had the best of intentions in getting her through this, but one of the trailer tires has dropped into the V-notch and is wedged super tight. So now we've got a problem on our hands. Well, I definitely managed to get Katerina fairly stuck here. We can't pull forward, it's totally wedged in there and will probably damage the rim. We can't go backwards, it just doesn't want to go anywhere, and we risk doing some additional damage. So we have Phil pull his Jeep up right next to it. We're going to hook up the winch and try and lift it up to get it out of this little V-notch here and see if that'll be enough for us to drive it out. So let's see if we can get ourselves out of this predicament here. Well, this plan is not working. Remember, this is almost a 2,000-pound trailer, and all it's doing is pulling the front of Phil's Jeep down, and it's not lifting the trailer up. So, time to start working on another plan. We're now on to plan C, and that's going to be to try and jack it up a little bit and then get a couple rocks under the tire and then have Phil winch it backwards, the whole thing, the Jeep and the trailer, to try and get us in a better position. So we're going to get it up as high as we can with the jack, and let's hope for the best. Sometimes third time's a charm. While we were able to get the trailer back a few feet, it just wasn't enough to get out of this notch, and there was no way to get Phil in another position to get it back even further and out of this. So our next plan is going to be to try and drive forward again, try and get it to climb out. And if not, we're going to be on plan E or F at some point here. Eventually, we'll figure it out. At this point, I've certainly run out of which plan we're on, but hopefully we're at the end. We jacked it up a little bit. We're throwing rocks underneath the tire. We're going to just stack it up and then see if we can drive it out. So hopefully this will be the thing that gets us out of this predicament.
Go ahead.
Well, we're off the hitch.
Stop. That's good. That's good.
One more.
Might fix your caster. It might.
Yeah.
Now go ahead and straighten out now.
Yep. Straighten out.
Right there. And it's just sliding it out. You only got another foot to go before before the wheel's out.
Driver. 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 Driver.
Beautiful.
Okay, slow. Take it slow. Because now the other wheel
Yeah.
is going to drop, right?
Well, it's good.
Beautiful.
Go forward. You're good. You're good. Trailer's coming down. You're out.
Beautiful.
Always trust your spotter. Except this time it was me and I screwed up. So things happen, right? But one reason why you don't wheel alone is resources, extra eyes, extra hands, extra tools, everything. Extra brains, and a lot of rock moving sometimes. But we got her done. We got the trailer unstuck. Now we just got to load the other Jeep back up with the water we took out. And we're only like 3/4 of a mile from the campsite. Let's get going. Let's wrap up and let's get to camp.
Trail travel recovery.
So Phil's going to take the hardest line here. Remember, he's on 40s, and you can see just how big of a drop this is. But the old Philster, making it look easy. We are coming into the Dollhouse area. There's actually 3 campsites here, and we're in Dollhouse number 2. Now this is the most unique campsite I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely mind-blowing. Now, we're done for the day. Time to get unpacked, get some food, do some repairs, and get ready for tomorrow's adventure as we hit Mays Overlook. It is Tuesday morning here at the Dollhouse. We're all packed up. We're getting ready to go. We've got to get out of the Dollhouse trail, which, as you saw, it was pretty tricky getting in here, a little harder than we had anticipated, but we didn't have too many problems. But now we've got to get out, and our next stop is going to be the Mays Overlook. So we got to get back to Flint Trail, go up a few miles, and hit the next trail,
for tonight's campsite. So we're all packed up, we're ready to go. Let's get back on the trail and head to the Maze Overlook.
We are all wishing we had more time here because this was the most unique campsite we've ever seen. Absolutely gorgeous, surrounded by these beautiful rocks and encapsulated. We were safe from the wind and elements, which was absolutely awesome. As we leave the Dollhouse area, we're going to pass the trailhead to the Colorado River, Green River Confluence Overlook. Now, if you want to do that, you've got to be here for the whole day because you need to start it in the morning. It's 4.5 miles in and 4.5 miles out. So be prepared for a long day of hiking if you want to do that. And Katerina wants to do it the next time we visit this area. But before we get back on the trail and head out, there's one more stop that we want to make. And we want to go check out Dollhouse 3. It's supposed to be a little more challenging to get to that campsite, but we want to see what the views are like just in case we want to do it the next time we're in town. Now, there was a nice little climb trying to get up here, and I decided not to even try driving the trailer up to the official campsite because I didn't know if I'd be able to turn around or not. But the view from here is amazing. 360 degrees as far as the eye can see. Now, it's not as enclosed and as protected as Dollhouse 2, but you got to admit, this view is out of this world. Well, now we are officially back on the Dollhouse Trail, heading back to Flint Trail. And if you have not watched the original Dollhouse Trail video, you might want to, because we have to go back through the obstacles that got us here in the first place. And we ended up getting our trailer stuck on the very last obstacle, which for us now is going to be the first one. So hopefully we can make it out of here. Now, to be fair, I'm one of the last people to ever stack rocks because we basically never really need to, but they were there, so I'm going to use them to our advantage. Well, we've finished the latter half of the trail and we're back into this middle section, which is the hardest part of the trail. While there was the one obstacle at the beginning, we're going into the difficult portion. So we've got some challenges up ahead. It's probably going to slow us down, but hopefully, since we've already done it once, we won't have too many problems getting out of here. We've been slowly working our way through the obstacles as we work our way out of the Dollhouse, but the worst obstacles are still in front of us. So we got a ways to go, a few more challenges to meet before we're back on some softer ground. This turn here gave us the most difficulty getting in. I had to do a bunch of little turns to get lined up and got all off camber. So we're gonna hopefully take it as wide as possible and make it through this without too many problems.
Okay, well, we just finished the Dollhouse. That was incredible. Took us about 5 hours to get in, about 3 hours to come out, because you always know a trail a little better after you've done it once. So behind me is the Dollhouse, in front of me, Poison Springs, and I'm standing at the intersection of Flint Trail, and we're getting ready to head north and go to Mays Overlook. So that's going to be the next stop on our Mays District adventure. So be sure and check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stick with us as we continue on to the Mays Overlook.
Well, I can't tell you how nice it is to be back on Flint Trail. Some nice, smooth, sandy double track. No major obstacles for a while anyway. This is really nice. We're able to get some speed up, make up some time, and have a nice, smooth ride.
Okay, we have just made it to the turn for Mays Overlook. So we got 12 miles to go to our next campsite, and we're staying at Mays Overlook 2 tonight. I believe there's 2 of them, and someone must be in one, right? Got Golden Stairs, 61 miles to Highway 24, 17 miles to Hans Flat Ranger Station, and we are on Flint Trail. So we're gonna stop, grab some snacks, get some drinks, and head over to Mays Overlook.
We're a little over 1.25 miles into the trail, and so far it's been pretty nice. Trails Off-Road does rate this as a 3, so hopefully we're not going to run into any difficulty today like we did on the Dollhouse. Now we're coming on to this long descent here, but it comes with an extra special bonus for some of you. It's on a shelf road. Now it's not a huge 1,000-foot drop off or anything, but if you get sketched out on shelf roads, yeah, be careful on this one because it is pretty narrow as we head down into the valley. Now, according to Trails Off-Road, this is the worst part of the whole trail in terms of difficulty, and it should be pretty smooth sailing once we get down off the cliff.
it down.
With the last of the obstacles behind us, we are entering into the national park boundary, meaning we're at the 9-mile mark, and we've got just under 4 miles left to go. But we do have to make a quick stop and let Katerina look over the edge of the cliff.
Right.
Now we've just been traveling along the trail nice and flat. We come over a tiny little ridge and we're at this campsite. And what an amazing view. You can see forever from here. This is absolutely mind-blowing.
Good morning from the Maze Overlook. This place is just insane. This view goes on for hundreds of miles. It is one of the most epic campsites you can get. We got the Jeep and the Tribe trailer right on the edge of the cliff here, looking out into this amazing valley. It's hard to beat a campsite like this. This is awesome. But our adventure is not over. We have one more campsite to go to tonight, and that's Panorama Point. And that will conclude our Maze District adventure. It has been awesome so far. Took some damage here and there, had some fun, really had an amazing experience. So don't tune out yet. We still have one more campsite to go to.
Poison Springs, the Dollhouse, Maze Overlook, and now on our way to Panorama Point. It has been an epic adventure, but there's still more up ahead, and we've been warned that there's some switchbacks that we may have some troubles with our trailer. So the adventure continues.
Good morning from the Maze Overlook. This is just stunning. It's just a beautiful place. We woke up at sunrise, had some coffee while we watched the sun come up. Now it's time to get some breakfast and get back on the road, because our next stop is Panorama Peak. Again, supposed to be another awesome campsite. We can't wait to get there. So let's get going. Let's get some grub. Let's get back on the road.
We are working our way out of the maze Overlook area and having to go through all the obstacles we went through on the way in. And this is a very steep hill. And right at this point right here, I'm in manual 2, and all of a sudden the transmission drops into neutral. We started to lose power. I grabbed and threw it into drive to keep going. Real panic moment right there. Turns out later, we found out it was the wheel speed sensors. But wow, did I have a little panic attack driving up this hill. Well, this was the Maze Overlook Trail. We stayed at Overlook 2. Absolutely amazing, awesome views. We're doing great. We're having an amazing time. The weather has been fantastic, and we're getting ready to head to Panorama Point. We have to go up Flint Road a few miles and then out to the next campsite and enjoy the rest of the trip. It's been amazing. Thank you for joining us on our adventure, but it's not over yet. One more day here in the Maze District. We are back on Flint Road with 12 miles to go to our next turn. Now, up ahead, you may not see it on the video, but there's a trail up there on the side of these cliffs, and that's where we are headed, up to those switchbacks. And the closer we get, and the narrower I see that they are, the more nervous that I'm getting. As you approach the switchbacks, be sure and look as far up ahead as you can, because if there's anybody coming towards you, there's no room for passing. So make sure that no one's heading your direction before you decide to start heading up. Right before we started the switchbacks, there was a group of Jeepers there, one of them with a broken tie rod that had just come down the hill. They definitely thought we were a bit on the crazy side to try and go up the switchbacks with a trailer. Now, it should go without saying, but there is a shelf road warning here. Don't like shelf roads? This one may have you puckering up just a little. Well, it turns out people's concerns about us making it up the switchback were well warranted. This turn here is way more than 90 degrees, and there's almost no room for us to maneuver the Jeep and the trailer without the trailer going back over a cliff or the front end hitting the wall face here. So I lost track of how many times we had to remaneuver to get going, but eventually we made it through.
You're good.
Well, you've got to admit, these views do not suck. It is just amazing, beautiful, epic. You pick a word, and these views are it. It is absolutely insane. However, looking at the map, right ahead of us is another switchback that looks to be pretty tricky. So hopefully we can make it past that one. Otherwise, we're going to be in a really, really bad situation.
Okay. All right. Okay, stop. Oh, now you're going wrong angle. Okay. Oh, actually you did better than you did. Ta-da!
We safely made it to the top of the switchbacks, and look at this amazing view from Flint Overlook. Well worth it for the little hassles that we had getting up the switchbacks. We're not done yet. We got 9 miles left to go to get to the Panorama Point turn. So let's keep going and see what else this trail has in store for us. But when you see the sign for the Bagpipe Butte Overlook, stop, get out, go take the short little walk out to the edge so you can take in this amazing view where you can see for hundreds of miles. It's well worth it.
So we've been coming up Flint Road, and we now get to this area here. Now, coming the direction we did, there were no signs, but we were following trails off-road, and it told us that this was the turn. So now we are heading back in to go to Panorama Point. This is supposed to be an amazing overlook area. Hard to believe that it can be any better than what we've already seen on this trip. The Dollhouse was amazing. The Maze Overlook was amazing. This has been a phenomenal trip, but supposedly it gets even better. So let's keep going and get to the next campsite.
As you can see, Panorama Point does have its share of obstacles. Trails Off-Road rates it a 4 mandatory, 5 optional, compared to the Dollhouse, which is a 5. So while you only have 12 miles to go on this trail, don't think it's going to be a fast drive.
More passenger. Now come down. Okay. Keep that line because it is not enough room for trailer yet. Trailer has a big step down. Perfect.
On the whole Maze District Trail, we did not budget any extra gas for side trails. But Katerina, she wanted to check out Cleopatra's Chair, and hopefully we can spare the gas to get over there and make it through the rest of the trip. Now, if you are looking for an alternative campsite to Panorama Point, there is a big campsite here. And on the other side of Cleopatra's Chair there is a magnificent view off to the west. Well, the trek into Cleopatra's Chair is 2 miles off the road. Well, that's also 2 miles back, and we also have 4 more miles to go to get to the campsite. However, the Jeep is throwing error codes. It is dropping out of 4-wheel drive into neutral. It is really struggling today, and we don't know why. So hopefully this is not going to cause a problem for the rest of the trip.
Well, we have made it to another campsite. This is Panorama Point. And well, you know, kind of like the other ones, the view, it's okay. It's all right, right? This is absolutely amazing out here. Way off in the distance, over there-ish, you can see places that we've been before. Maze Overlook was kind of over there, and the Dollhouse is way over there, and just incredible. So we've got camp set up, getting some grub ready, gonna have a good evening, and little rest, relaxation before we head back home tomorrow. So we still have to work our way out and hopefully make it to a gas station before one of us runs out of fuel. So it's a little tight. We're kind of cutting it a little close, but we're gonna see if we can make it to Green River tomorrow on the way home.
Wow. Wow. That is famous horseshoe. Yeah, you can see Plug, Chimney Rock, Dollhouse is over there, Needles District, those are Monticello Mountains. Wow. What a trip.
What, Thursday morning here, and we are getting packed up and getting ready to leave Panorama Point. What an amazing place this is. The views, just absolutely spectacular. The hiking around here is gorgeous, and it has just been a wonderful trip. However, there's still a little drama to be had because we have to make it from here to Green River to get gas. And we're doing okay. According to the math, we're going to squeak in there on fumes. So hopefully everything will work out. And once we get out of the trail and onto the main dirt road, we'll pick up a bunch of gas mileage and things will work out and everything will be fine. It's gonna be a little dicey getting into Green River. Let's see how it goes. But we still have to take the trail back out of Panorama Point. So we got some obstacles ahead of us still. So stay there, there's still more to come.
Getting out of Panorama Point is proving to be a little more difficult than it should be. The Jeep is throwing the error codes again. It's not staying in manual gears, which is what we need for the climbing power to get out of here. We have to keep it in drive, and it doesn't want to choose a good towing and climbing gear. So the Jeep is just seriously having problems. Hopefully, once we get on flat surface, it won't be a problem, and we'll be able to drive back into town and get gas and make it home.
Well, that was Panorama Point. What an amazing last trail here in the Maze District. This whole thing has been mind-blowing. The views are more epic than we ever anticipated. Our challenge is not over yet. As you know, sometimes we've been in situations where we've got pretty low on gas, and we're pretty low on gas. We have been averaging 7.5 miles per gallon. We have 67 miles to get to Green River. It says we have range of 65 miles. So we're gonna hope that once we get back on the dirt road sections, our gas mileage will come up and we'll be able to make it into town and get gas. Dana and Philip, they've only been getting 6.3 miles per gallon, and they had the same range at this point too. So hopefully they can get some better gas mileage as we get out and we don't have to have one Jeep run into town and get gas. So our adventure is not over yet until we get to Green River with both Jeeps and fill up. So let's get going, let's get back on the trail, and let's see if we can make it out of Flint Trail. Well, thank you for watching. This has been our Maze District adventure. This one of our top adventures we've ever done. The views are beyond epic. They are mind-blowing. It's just hard to describe just how cool of a place the Maze District is. But we had a great time. We made it. We're only a few miles outside of Green River. We can get gas. We got 30 miles left and we only have like 10 miles to go. So we made it on gas just fine. Coming out on Flint Road and then to San Rafael Road, a little faster speeds, we were aired up. We actually got our average gas up to 8.5 miles per gallon. We only needed 7 miles per gallon to make it all the way out. So we did great on gas, had an absolute blast. This is not for everybody. This is not a beginner's trail or a beginner's adventure. You need a vehicle that can handle some rougher terrain. You need a lot of gas if you're gonna try and do the whole thing at once. We recommend going in, doing the Dollhouse, and then on the next trip, doing Panorama Peak, and then on another one, doing the Maze Overlook, or something like that, so you don't have to pack in so much food and so much gas and so much water just in case. We had a great time. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe. It really does help our channel. It helps the YouTube algorithm to promote what we do. And if you want to help us out even more, down below, there's a join button. You can join and be part of the community, which really helps us out. From Katarina and myself, thank you so much for watching. Be safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.